I remember I took the train down there, and you know, they pick you up at the train and kind of take you into the post there, and of course, you know, you're yelling and screaming at you. The first few minutes in the reception center is a real horror show. They try to break it down, and they shave all your hair off, and you know, all the shots and all that kind of stuff, like the stuff you see in the movies. So I went through that, but during my basic training, I guess about 2 or 3 weeks into the program, an officer came to talk to us about OCS, Officer Candidate School. That's what I decided to do. I got a couple of weeks of leave, went to Richmond, and then my mom and dad drove me to Aberdeen Proving Ground, where I went through this 3-month program, 90-day wonder they called it. Of course, I had I think the premier assignment. I was actually assigned to Picatinny Arsenal in New Jersey, which is, you know, everybody looked at me and said, how did you manage this? Because everybody knew it was a country club. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody else was being sent to Fort Benning or, you know, off to Vietnam or whatever. And I basically spent the rest of my Army career at Picatinny Arsenal, where I eventually got out of the service in 1971. And it was and that's where both children were born, of course, at Picatinny Arsenal. So this is, of course, during the Vietnam era, and we received the Arsenal commander received notification there's going to be a demonstration at the front gate, and this was in February. It was very cold, and they gave a date and a time. So you know, I got the word. I was detachment commander there. I had about 100 enlisted men under my command there, that mostly people that worked in the, you know, draftees that worked in the labs. They were all engineers. So they wanted some kind of show of force at the front gate, just in case, you know, 100 people showed up. So what I did was, we had an arms room with a number of weapons in it. Mainly riot control shotguns was the only weapon that I figured was, you know, suitable for this. So we qualified as many as we could for the riot control shotgun, which is basically a 12-gauge shotgun that's been sawed off. The barrel's been sawed off. It's a shortened shotgun. And I loaded these guys into the bus. I remember the morning, it was about 20 degrees outside. We went down to the front gate, and we're sitting in the bus. And I think there was I think there was heat in the bus, but when we got outside, it was so cold outside, we had to run around. It was, anyway, nobody showed up for the demonstration. We were there for about an hour.
That's great.
And finally, we just closed up and went back, and nothing happened. But an interesting experience. I was the only one that had. Actually, I had none of the shotguns were loaded, and none of the enlisted men had shells. I had a whole bucket of shells, you know, an ammo box for it, just in case we were fired upon.
Yeah. But it must have been something else. It's cold and nobody else showed up, right?
Not a single person showed up for the demonstration.